Hey Internet, Eric here. Friday the 13th was just yesterday, at least as of what I'm recording. And it's been a while since I reviewed a Friday the 13th film. And it's been a while since I did a You Hate It, I Don't. If you're new to my channel, welcome. You Hate It, I Don't is a concept I thought of where I feel like I'm the only one who... I feel like I'm pretty much the only one who enjoys a certain film. Be it it's panned by critics, it's panned by fans, panned by everybody. And this will actually be the third Friday the 13th film in my You Hate It, I Don't series. Last night I rewatched, and I believe it belongs in this category, Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Now this came out in, I believe it was 89, yep, 1989. Stars Jensen Daggett and Kane Hodder in his second portrayal of Jason Voorhees. And actually in her first movie role, Kelly Hu. And if you are asking who the fuck is Kelly Hu, she was in Scorpion King with The Rock. She played Lady Deathstrike in X-Men 2. And that's all I know her from. But, yeah. Let's see here. Well, if you're new to my channel, again, welcome. It's my channel usually contains plot spoilers, blah blah blah. That's just how I like to discuss the films. But it's the 8th film in a Friday the 13th series, so I doubt you'll really care if there's any spoilers. But basic plot is this. First off, don't ask me about the fucking timeline. The timeline in the Friday the 13th series is about as fucked up as the timeline of the X-Men films. So I don't know how long this takes place after Part 7. But Jason is still at the bottom of the lake where he was dragged at the end of the Part 7. And it's now the senior trip, or the graduating trip for the senior class at Camp Crystal Lake High, whatever the fuck it's called. And they're going to go to New York City. And these two students are busy making out in the boys' houseboat, or just regular boat, whatever it is. I think it's it's like a houseboat. And he tells her the story of Jason, of course. And the anchor hits an electrical cable, wakes Jason up, just like fucking Frankenstein. Jason kills the two students. Somehow the boat floats out of the lake into the ocean where the ocean liner is that the rest of the class is going to use to get to New York City. Jason gets on board, kills a whole bunch of people. Eventually the survivors have to jump ship. They paddle to New York City. Jason follows them. Hilarity ensues. The end. Whew. This movie isn't as much shit as it deserves, because hey, it's a fucking Jason film. First off, what do you expect? All right, you expect the same fucking thing in every fucking Friday the 13th film. Campers have sex. Jason kills them. There's one surviving girl that destroys Jason. So it's the same basic fucking formula in the 7 previous films. At least the one before this, they threw in telekinetic girl to give like a little cool twist. So what do I like about this film first? Okay. What I like about this film first is they take Jason out of the usual woods setting. Okay? He's no longer on the campground. He's no longer in the woods. It's, granted, a lot of people shit on this because it says Jason Takes Manhattan, and he's basically in Manhattan for maybe the last 20 minutes of the film, and he's on the boat for the first... Well, this is a long one. This is like an hour and 40 minutes. So we'll say hour he's on the boat. But I don't care because it's a new setting, okay? It gives you a new place for, the unique kills. It's not always him chasing the kids through the woods, them hiding behind trees and this and that. I like the fact that he's on a fucking boat. I don't care. And then it gets really cool when he does get into Manhattan. So once again, you get him out of the usual campground, cabin, fucking forest, whatever setting that the fucking movies have been, doing for the past 7 films. So it's a nice change of pace. I like Jason gets a new mask because at the end of part 7, when he was fighting Tina, the telekinetic girl, his mask was ripped open. It was split apart. So Jason has a new mask. It's can't really see. It's a little yellow tint. So I like it's something different again. It's a cool different color. His look is a little laid back. The budget. So he's not got the exposed, spinal cord or what have you from the 6th one, but it's still a neat look. Jensen Daggett as Rennie, who is the female lead. She's okay. She's decent. She's not necessarily a damsel in distress. You have the stereotypical people. You have her love interest. You have the bitch. You have the jock, who's the black guy, Julius. You have, the concerned teacher. And then you have Rennie's asshole foster father, which is Mr. McCulloch. He's actually a teacher. So you have the stereotypical teen characters, but then you have, like I said, you have the 2 teacher characters, which you don't really always get. I liked how there's a crazy deckhand, who is saying you're all doomed. Nice little nod to a Crazy Ralph from the 1st and 2nd films. Likeable characters for the most part. Interesting kills. Jason kills someone with an electric guitar. Jason kills somebody by taking hot sauna rocks and shoving it in the person's belly. What else? One of my favorite kills in this film actually is very low key. It's a strangulation kill, and the scene it's one of my favorite scenes in the whole fucking film. Even though when we get to the negative of this film, I'll discuss, but he is chasing this character. And she's in like a dance hall, and you get the disco lights playing, going, and you get the rock music playing, and she's looking all around, and Jason's just going, he's hiding, and everywhere she looks, he's right there, and then he just grabs a person, lifts them up to the ground, and just strangles them to death. I don't think Jason has ever strangled somebody to death in the first 7 films. I mean, we've had machetes and axes and, cut in half and decapitations. There was just something brutal about, a 2-handed strangulation. I loved it. It's like I said, it's probably one of my favorite kills. Another kill I really enjoy is when and it's due to the editing, is when someone that you really hate in this film. There's some hateable characters in this film. Or when someone is killed with, she's thrown into a mirror, and then Jason punches the mirror, and he's got a glass shard, and he raises the hand, with the glass shard in his hand, and right as he brings it down on his victim, she screams, this piercing scream, and then it cuts from her scream to the whistle blowing on the boat. So it's a real cool comparison from the scream and the whistle, but then it also is like, oh, no one hears her scream because the whistle's blowing. So that's really cool. I really enjoy that. I love when he gets to New York. I love seeing There's just something about Jason in Times Square. Even though some of it was filmed in Vancouver, I don't really care. It doesn't take me out of the fucking film. You see Jason in Times Square. That's all you fucking need. And I love his pursuit of Rennie and whoever the fucking male lead character is. He's chasing them down the subway. He's chasing them downtown New York. He is like a fucking great white shark in pursuit. like, he kicks through the walls of a diner, which I love. And, of course, the cook from behind the counter or whatever walks up to confront Jason. Jason just grabs him by the fucking shirt and throws him over the counter into a mirror. And that was Ken Kersinger, who would end up playing Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. So that was kind of a little neat thing. I love when he's chasing him through the subway car and Jason is just pushing fucking, bystanders out of the way, and he's just pursuing this, this couple. Eventually, they meet. The Jason's chasing them into the sewers, and the sewer system, and it's just a really cool look. Like I said, it's Jason not in his stereotypical, killing grounds, and it's awesome. I love when there's spoilers. Everyone's gonna fucking die. I love when he's fighting Julius. Julius is a boxer, and he is boxing Jason on top of this. He's bare-fisted. He's boxing Jason on top of this building, and he's taking full fucking swings at Jason, hitting him in the mask and hitting him in the body, and he knocks Jason right to the edge of the building. And then as he's getting ready to, he kind of like a rope-a-dope, like in Rocky 3, where Rocky has Mr. T punch himself out, and then Rocky can take him out. Julius is tired from all this, and he raises his hands, and his fucking knuckles are bloody and swollen. And then he's like, take your best shot, motherfucker. Jason just grabs him right here, takes a swing, and knocks his fucking head off. And as campy and cheesy as that is, after 8 fucking films, you gotta be a little cartoony. And I liked that. I liked when he knocks Julius's head off. We get a POV camera shot, and you see the fucking film spinning as the head is flying down, off the building and into a fucking garbage can or trash bin. Let's get to the negatives. There are some fucking negatives here. First off, there's this side story. Rennie's afraid of water, and Rennie, because she couldn't swim as a kid, and when her foster dad, Mr. McCulloch, I believe, the teacher I said, one summer he basically said, you gotta learn how to swim because you don't want to drown like the boy in this lake. They're on a fucking canoe in Camp Crystal Lake. He throws her overboard. Basically, you gotta throw them in the water to teach them how to swim type of thing. And she looks down and she has this hallucination that Jason grabbed her and tried to pull her and drown her. So for the rest of the fucking movie, she's having psychic visions of fucking young Jason. And it goes back and forth between deformed Jason and non-deformed Jason. I don't fucking know. And I don't know if they just wanted to... Jason is kind of supernatural because he's a fucking zombie, basically. But they threw in this whole psychic supernatural thing with Jason. And I admit it's fucking stupid. And it goes on for the entire fucking movie. And it's just dumb as shit. I hated that. And another thing this film does suffer from is editing, because it just makes it look like Jason can fucking teleport. And I mentioned the strangulation scene, because when the character is looking all around, looking straight ahead, there's Jason. He quickly looks to the right, there's Jason. He quickly looks to the left, there's Jason. So it does make it look like he can fucking teleport, just with bad fucking editing. Like when I said he killed someone with an electric guitar. She sees Jason, she runs away, and she literally runs down steps, in like the basement area of the boat, whatever you would fucking call it. Runs down the steps, and right when she runs down the steps and she runs forward, Jason's right there to hit her with the fucking guitar. That's bad fucking editing. He can't teleport. But you know what? What the fuck? I don't care. It doesn't... The bad editing doesn't cause enough of this to make me hate it. And here's a spoiler. The end. How they get rid of Jason. Because I know this is another thing that this film is shit on. I mentioned they're in the sewers. Well, for some fucking reason, apparently New York City sewers fill with toxic waste every night at midnight to flush out everything. I don't fucking know if that's true, if that was created for the show, for the movie. It doesn't matter. Well, midnight's coming. They're being chased by Jason. And of course, they make it up a ladder. Jason's chasing them. And Jason's getting hit with all this toxic waste. After he had to, here's the cool thing. Right before that, Ginny's in part 2. What did I say her name was? Rennie. Rennie, whatever. Jensen Daggett. She throws a bucket of toxic waste in Jason's face. He pulls off his mask, and his face is all melted, which is a kind of a neat looking special effect. But so he's staggering around like this, and he's trying to grab them, and then the toxic waste pours on him. For some reason, he looks to the toxic waste, and he speaks and says, "Mommy, don't let me drown." Bear with me. And then he's hit with the toxic waste, covered with the toxic waste. Suddenly everything blows away. Washes away. And then Rennie looks down and she sees the Jason boy again, the young Jason. And everyone thought that was fucking stupid because they didn't understand it. They were like, did Jason mutate back into his boy form, his young self? And I thought to myself, no. I thought, because the continuity and timelines of the Friday the 13th films are pretty notorious. But my way of explaining it is this. When the toxic waste is done, and it washes it all away, Jason's body was washed away with it. What Rennie is seeing down there with the young Jason just laying there, that's her vision basically saying, Jason is gone, young Jason can no longer torment you. Now, is that what the filmmaker intended? No, and I don't care. But this is me trying to process this goofy-ass ending as much as I can. And that's how I'm going to look at it. But, again, the fact that it's on the boat for 80% of the film, and that shitty ending, isn't enough to say that this is one of the worst films in the series. I mean, I enjoy every single film in this series, including Jason X, which is saying a lot. Oh, and there's some good attempts at comedy here. I love the scene where Jason is walking down the streets of Times Square chasing Rennie and whoever the fucking dude is, and he's listening to a couple gangbangers, listening to fucking their boombox. And it's some stupid fucking rap song. And he kicks the boombox, and it breaks and everything. And then they pull out chains, and one of the little punks has like a switchblade, and he does this little thing. He says, "You're dead meat, slime bag." And Jason just turns around, and he lifts up his fucking mask. We just see, the POV from behind Jason. We just see the back of his head, and we see the kid's reaction. But he literally just goes whoosh with the mask, and they get all freaked out, and they say like it's cool, and they run away, and then Jason just goes whoosh, puts the mask back, and then goes back and chases after Jensen Daggett and what's-his-face. I liked that a lot. That was cool. It was fun. I liked when, even though somehow Jason was able to fucking swim all the way to New York, he's following the group of the survivors. It's Rennie and what's-his-face and the McCulloch and then the teacher. And then as he's doing that, he sees a billboard for like the Eastern Hockey League, and you see him looking up, and he just tilts his head. He's looking at a billboard, and it's a fucking hockey player with the same mask that Jason's wearing. So then he turns around and he looks directly at the camera, and then he goes and chases after him. And a nice tongue-in-cheek nod there. It was fun. Made the movie fun. One of my favorite lines in the entire Friday the 13th series is from Part 8. When they're in New York, they meet up with some gangbangers. The gangbangers kidnap Rennie. And right before they take her away, they take all the money and stuff like that. And the boyfriend's challenging them. The gangbanger, my favorite line, the gangbanger looks at the boyfriend. He says, "Come on, Superman, be a hero." I don't know why, I just love that fucking line. And another thing I love about this film, I love the opening sequence. It starts off with this kind of a nice, mellow 80s rock song called "The Darkest Side of the Night." And what I love is during the opening credits, you see these different shots of New York City. It's Times Square. It's a back alley. It's a diner. It's a subway station. It's someplace with a fucking escalator. And it's foreshadowing because every single one of those spots that you see in the opening sequence is a spot that the group goes through when they're trying to get away from Jason. And it's a really cool idea. You don't really see that because basically the rest of these movies up until this one has just been a rehash of every of the one of the previous films saying this is what happened before. So again, a nice new change of pace, which was, like I said, after 8 films, you needed it. And you know what? Again, the fact that fans really shit on this because it takes place in a boat for the most part, and the ending isn't enough to say that, this movie is crap. I really think Jason Takes Manhattan, it's part 8, gets a bad reputation just for those reasons. And once again, Kane Hodder is fantastic as Jason. Everyone wants to suck his dick because, he played Jason 4 times. I like him a lot. He's a new, he gives his own little twist to Jason. He's like, he's full of rage and anger. He's like a bull, like loose in a china shop type of thing. Kane's great. Another thing that does suck in this is the effects aren't the best. There's some slicings with no blood. Like a dude gets right across the throat and he tilts his head up and you see the little bit of the gash, but no blood comes out. Jason kind of stabs one guy from behind, and his movements don't sync up with Kane's stabbings. But a lot of this, once again, was butchered by the MPAA, who was having a field day on horror films in the 80s. But anyways, once again, highly, highly enjoy Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Does not deserve all the hate that I personally think it gets. Now, on these You Hate It, I Don'ts, I could be wrong. Some people are surprised. Oh, why are you doing a You Hate It, I Don't on this film? I really enjoy it. Well, this is just my take on it. If it's me, how would I say it? I'm the one hearing from at least my circle of friends or circle of websites that I go to or Facebook groups or whatever the fuck you want to say. They're the ones shitting on this, and I feel like I'm the only one who enjoys it. Hence, You Hate It, I Don't. Now, you watching this might already enjoy Jason Takes Manhattan and know a lot of people that do. You know what? This is just, like I said, me defending it from my little circle. So, yeah. Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Give it another shot. If you've avoided it because of what you've heard, give it an initial shot. And if I'm right, cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. If I'm wrong, tell me below in the comments section. Be like, hey man, you're fucking wrong. This movie sucks. Tell me why you think so. But that's it. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, all that shit. Tell your friends. Tell nobody. If you like what I do see, check out my past videos. And feel free to suggest me videos, for future reviews. Whether I've seen it or not, I'll review it. My wonderful wife has suggested that I review Adventures in Babysitting. I've already seen it. Spoilers, I really enjoy it. You can be a dick. Like my brother. He requested that I review Mac and Me. A movie that I have not seen since childhood. I hated it then and I'll probably hate it now. He's also asked me to review the Three Ninjas films, which I loved back then, but I know they don't hold up well. Or, you can request films that you know I'll hate that I've never seen. My buddy Billy was an asshole, and he wants me to review Little Hercules, starring Hulk Hogan as Zeus. Okay, or whatever. Anyways, like and subscribe, yada yada. Cheers. And if you're being chased by a homicidal maniac through Times Square. I don't know how to fucking end this. Chased by a homicidal maniac through Times Square. You call for help. Some bitch in the diner will just say, "Welcome to New York." That sucked. Anyways, whatever. Cheers.